Places, if they're not even on any kind of a spiritual journey, we're all in different places in life. Tonight, we find ourselves together in one place. So no matter what's brought us here or where we're at or what we come with, if we come tonight with a light heart and a heart that's full, or even if we come tonight with a heavy heart and a heart that's burdened, What's amazing about you, Lord, is that no matter what, you meet us where we're at. And tonight, God, I pray for your Holy Spirit to come. Even more of you, Lord, more in our conversations and the words that we say and the things that we discuss and the things that are spoken for those who speak tonight out loud and for those that speak in the circles and the groups and those listening online and watching online. God, speak to us tonight in this area of relationships, especially in romantic relationships. Lord, we ask that you would speak clearly tonight what you want us to hear, that every heart here tonight would know that you love them. Beyond everything else, that you love them. That's all they hear tonight. You love them. We're loved by you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen, amen. You guys have a seat. Have a seat. Word, 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 word. That's such a good song. Such a good song. I wish that our online audience, we're going to welcome you guys right now. If there's anybody that needs a seat and you guys don't have a seat, come on up and find a seat. But we are going to, our online audience, you guys welcome our online audience right now. All right, so we're going to switch it over. We are in a series called Modern Romance. So modern romance. Who did their homework? Who watched the video? It's a video. We should really have, and what's funny is that as I look, I can see every time we send the video out, or every time that I resend it out on Remind, that the numbers, as we get closer to Wednesday, that it shows the views, and it was like 30 views, and then I said it out, and all of a sudden it shoots to 100 views. So some people were watching in the last minute, some people didn't watch it, and I encourage you in the weeks to come that you guys would actually watch the videos ahead of time. For all of our online audience, I want you guys to know as well that is on our Instagram page as well, and it is on Remind. So follow us on our Instagram page. It is there, Reveal Church _YA. I got it? Yes. So Reveal Church _YA. That's our Instagram account. It will be there each and every week. If you haven't watched the videos, go back and watch them. But we are talking about this subject of romance. Modern romance. And this week especially, I enjoyed it. We are going to jump right in. So I need a volunteer. I need a volunteer to be able to do the mic for me tonight. Okay, oh, there she is. You're back. Welcome back. So, and then we do have, okay, so here's the way it's going to work. I'm going to throw out the first question. I'm going to throw out the questions here in a minute, and then we're going to answer some from the guys, some from the girls, to hear what you guys have to say on a big level. Then we're going to dive in our groups as well. So, the title of this week's message was, Date Your Soulmate. Date Your Soulmate. And I'm just telling you, if you didn't have a chance to watch if you didn't make time to watch the video, go back and watch it. We're going to jump right in. I want to jump into the dating equation. She talked about the right person at the wrong time equals a wrong relationship. She also talked about the wrong person plus the right time equals a wrong relationship. The wrong person at the wrong time is definitely a wrong relationship. The right person at the right time, that equals a right relationship. And we talked about in previous weeks how our dating record, our relational record, many of us in here have not found the one yet. We're still 0-3 or 0-14 or 0-23 or whatever it is. We don't need you to tell us that tonight, but when we don't have the right person at the right time, we don't have the right relationship, and we ended up adding an L to our record. So I want to jump right in. What are your thoughts on this equation? There's a whole sermon in just this here, in trying to figure out this equation. But what are your thoughts on this equation? I want to hear from you guys. So what do you got? Where are we going to start at? Oh, they're right behind you. Yeah, hit the button on it. It should be a red light.
There you go.
Oh, there you are. No, there you are.
So I've dealt with this myself and being the wrong person at the wrong time and the wrong person at the right time. It's been like one of those things where, you know, you yourself can be in a bad place spiritually, or you may not be disconnected from God, or you may be still healing. And then on the other side, you come and you attract a person. You're trying to fill that void, like you said before. You're trying to fill that void, and by that, you're attracting somebody who is still healing, broken, and disconnected and dispirited. And so that's a bad match, in all in all. So, and then when you go on the other side, it's the right time, but the wrong person. And sometimes it's either you're trying to heal them or they're still healing and they latch on to you because they feel that energy from you. They feel that you're wanting to help you, that you're wanting to give, and they want to take that from you. And you have to be aware of that. And if you're not aware of that, then that can bring on a cycle of another heartbreak and hurt, and then you disconnect again, and then you're taken away from your path from God and everything. So I think that's really important to really realize that this equation is really important because, you know, like I said, it could take you away from the path, and it could take you on a long journey of just disproportionate, just heartbreak and just failure after failure after failure.
Right. Very good. Very good. I'm telling you guys, and I got to say this, you guys, this is serious business. The one thing that will lead us astray the easiest is bad relationships. Seriously. And I told Marty this week, I said, listen, Marty, I said, we may need to stay in this relationship thing. We may need to do it like every couple months just to remind and do a refresher on what it is that we're doing. And my promise to you is this, guys, that as we keep moving forward, that we would be able to, by the time that we're done with this series, that you guys would have a clear path, a clear framework for what it looks like to say, okay, well, if I think it's the right person and I think it's the right time, who do I have around me that I trust, that I'm saying, like, listen, guys, I may be blinded. I may see it, I may not. I feel this, but this is what I see. What do you think? Before things go too far. So this is something that is so, it destroys and derails so many lives, especially within your guys' age groups. So next thoughts. Where we at? Oh, over here. Patrick. We're heading over. There we are.
So upon further reflection, I feel like this whole equation is, and this is just my personal take on it, is it's like half right, in all fairness, because, yeah, wrong person, wrong time, obviously it's a fail. Right person, right time, it's obviously a win, right? But how do you determine right person, right time? Or for that matter, how do you know whether or not this is the wrong person or if I'm in the wrong time? So the first two for me, right person, wrong time, like that doesn't necessarily mean a loss. It just means like obviously we'll come back to it. We'll figure this out. If it's serious and you know we're feeling it, like we got to figure something out. Wrong time, nothing wrong there. Wrong person, right time. I'm in the right place. They aren't. They're not for me. That's going to be a toxic situation. That literally just comes down to you being able to objectively analyze, like you said, ask around, like, hey, I feel this person, what do you think on it, right? And that's and then for me, the last two, wrong person, wrong time, obviously, right? It's never gonna work. It's going to be either toxic, bad, or worse. Right person, right time, you click. Everything's right, you guys are flowing, you're communicating, everything's working great. So I don't know, that, like I said, my personal takeaway from it was like, some of this seems a bit critical and intense, but other times it's like, how do you determine it?
No, and that's very good, Patrick. And that's what I'm telling you guys. That's what I'm saying is we need to understand how do we unpack this, because just the equation of itself, so that's easy, but if we could intellectually figure that out, we wouldn't have as many losses as we do. If it was that easy that this is the right person, because so many times we think it's the right person in the right time, but it's the wrong person in the wrong time. Like so many times we're blinded to what it really is. And so I think in all fairness that yes, there is so much more to unpacking this. It's not just this easy. Oh, right person, wrong, okay, well what's the time? What's the time? Who's the person? How do you tell that? So I agree with you completely. I do. That this is it's incomplete. There's more to it. And so I want to equip you guys in the weeks to come with what the more is to it. So next person, somebody from the ladies. If we have any ladies, we have another guy over here. Oh, Abe. Okay, we went with Abe. I didn't see any ladies' hands. Any ladies? Okay, ladies, be thinking about it. Get ready to be courageous because we have to stay over here on this side for a minute. So we're heading over to Big Abe.
Hey, all right, so when I first watched the video, the right person, right time part struck me because it reminded me of that last slide that you put together the first week about how behaviors determine who a person is and what they become. And also the fact that I think we put too much emphasis on who the person is now or who they will be and focus far too little on who they were. Because while your past doesn't define you, it sure as hell has an influence on you. And that's not something that you can neglect if you have a serious intent on actually growing and developing as a person in any aspect of life. So I think that when you're looking for someone, you have to be willing to see the whole picture. You have to see them for who they were, what they struggled with, what they did, what they overcame, who they are, how they're growing, what they're going through, and what they aim and are capable and willing to become in the future. Because while that person may not be what you want right now, they could very well have what you value and become exactly who and what you need in the future. Someone tell Marty I said that. I'm sure he'd be proud.
No. Well said, and it's an open forum here. It's open. It's open. Ladies, we got anything? Any ladies here tonight? Oh, okay. All right, there we go. We're heading over, and I do love what you said. That was there's a lot of truth to that. And the thing that I'll say on this to what Abe said is so many times we're trying to look and find that person. So, and I've said this before. You guys have heard it. Instead of focusing on finding, so many times we should be focusing on becoming. Because as opposed to worrying about what someone else once was and what someone else isn't or is, we don't even know what we are and we're not even honest with ourselves yet of the tree that we fell off of in our family tree. We haven't dealt with the things that we've been through to be able to even bring a whole us into the relationship. We've talked about this, but yet we're going out with an incomplete us trying to find somebody that would complete us. Go ahead.
I think building off of what both of you guys said, something my mom told me recently was your messy is not going to be too much for the person that God has for you. So if we're going to use this dating equation, I think to summarize all of the points, it's his person for you at his timing. Because you can have all of those components and still have ended up with this. If you could have had one person with all of those components at some point in your guys' timeline, but if it wasn't his person with whatever messy at his timing, then it's just not gonna work.
Well said. And again, back to what you said, Patrick. How do we know who his person is? How do we know what his time is? That's the million-dollar question. And that's what we're going to answer here in the weeks to come, so stay tuned. Next, any other ladies? Everybody is quiet tonight. Everybody is quiet tonight. This is, anybody? Marianne, I see you there. I knew I don't know why I felt that Marianne was going to go, but she was like, she had her jitters over there. And so go ahead, Sierra.
All right, so it's really easy to get caught up in the emotions, and you need people behind you that can see the things you can't see, right? So, like, we've had these conversations, and anyone that wants to date me has to meet Pastor Daniel. And I've told guys, if you can't handle that, then you cannot handle me. So yeah, just as you would have to meet my father, get approval from them, and get feedback from them, from my church family too. So that's just what I go by now.
That wasn't set up either. I didn't know what she was gonna say. But I'm telling you, because usually what a young man has to do to date somebody's daughter is you gotta go to the father. You gotta go to the father. And so if the father in the house is like, yes, you will come see me. I love it. I know whose voice that is. But that's when you start, what you're setting up is you're setting up boundaries for yourself. Not just for yourself, but you're setting boundaries up for that other person as well. And so many times we want to skip those steps. And we want to kind of, well, let me feel this out. I'm telling you, you start feeling, you get caught in feelings. I've used the word over and over again, infatuation sets in. And before you know it, all hell, I'll use your word, all hell has broken loose. Real talk. Who's next? Anybody? Isaac. Oh, we have Isaac and, I'm sorry. No, we do, but I don't see no women's hands. Yeah.
You know how much I hate this mic. So, and this is the first time I've ever stood. But for all of you guys, and I shared this with my table, I'm older than not everybody here tonight, but a majority of you. Been there and done that 100 times, and I'm gonna go off what Daniel said. Know yourself. Be infatuated with yourself before you go into a relationship. Love you, and know that you're whole, because half of you can't go into a relationship. And from where I'm standing at 50, I'm finding me for the first time, what I should have done 30 years ago.
Come on.
So
Well
just
said.
find you.
Well said, Kelly.
And please take that from me.
You guys, raise your hands high. Nate.
What's going on, guys? So, well, I guess speaking off of everybody's, I like what Patrick had to say, because I feel kind of the same way with the equations are not exactly accurate.
Complete.
Are complete, yes.
They're accurate, but
wait, hold on. Hold that thought.
Go. You said,
Okay,
yes.
so I've been with my wife, Shelby. A lot of you guys know Shelby now. We've been together for going on 19 years now. Yeah, so we were high school sweethearts, and you can bet every minute of at least 18 of those years, huh, Shell, were the wrong time. But the right person. At least for me, it was the right person, and I would hope for her, obviously 19 years later, was the right person. But was it the right time? Absolutely not. But now 19 years later, she's brought me back to Christ. She's found Christ herself. We found God, just as you were saying. And now, that equation doesn't make sense to me, because it was the right person at the wrong time, and it was the right relationship, in my opinion. So I feel like I disagree with some of those. I don't think that it is completely accurate as far as my views on it, but that's just my view because of my experiences. That's not my view because of anything that I'm trying to portray. It's just in 19 years, it was all the wrong time. I mean, you can ask her. We did everything wrong. And we tried as hard as we could. We went through a lot of ups and downs, but we found each other eventually within that, and we found God, which I'm convinced now that she is the one that he brought me, that to save me. So, and I would hope that she, at some point in her life, she'll say the same thing, but I think it's more of a one-way street at this point. So, but that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you. And I'm gonna say something, because I gotta say something on Nate. I've been married for 24 years. And I'm not saying to one up you. I'm just saying I've been married for 24 years. And so what I'm saying is that I very well could have had the right person, but the wrong time and the wrong way. So I can't. I've been through so much that I don't believe I had to go through, because I did things in the wrong order. And I'm just being real. By God's grace, I've ended up where I am, but we've got to start to, because we just can't, when we're trying to create a path, we just can't say, okay, well, where Daniel just kind of jumped in and did what he did, and they just kind of did it that way, and they had Israel before they were married, and let's just throw it to the wall and see if it sticks. It doesn't work in our culture today, and we may be the rare ones that it worked for, but we have got to find a better way. And I got to speak on that because I see person after person, relationship after relationship, where if we're not careful with understanding what we could have done differently, our kids will look and say, well, if you don't have any other advice to give me of exactly how to do it, I'm going to throw it at the wall like you and mom did and see what sticks. We owe it to you younger people to be able to find a way to say, how do we do this? What did we do? Where did we go wrong? And how do we get this thing into a place where we can actually say, listen, if you take it step by step, if you go this route, if you do this, if you do that, like we've got to get to that place. And so I agree with what you're saying, but we've got to be careful. I'm telling you, when somebody just said, hey, I found my man on Tinder. All right, that's all I needed to hear. We've got to be careful. We need to unpack those kind of things because some young people are just looking for a way to say, listen, okay, oh, boom, done, okay. They zone out for the rest of it. They're like, okay, what else you guys have for me? I want to be able to look, and I will look humbly with you guys, and I would tell you, some of you guys don't know my story, but I would tell you my story and tell you how I came to where I'm at and how everything in hell wanted me not to be where I am today here with you guys. I made so many wrong decisions, and by God's grace, I made it. But I'm not saying that that's the route to take because so many of you wouldn't make it. Absolutely. And I don't want to throw you on a risky route. I want to put you on a wise route. I took a risky route. Amen. I could have taken a wise route. I didn't have wise counsel, and I want to be the wise counsel for you so I can stop seeing you guys hurt each other. Amen. That's all I'm saying. Go ahead, Chris. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Sorry, I'm really nervous right now, actually.
I didn't make you nervous, did
No.
I?
Okay,
good.
No, it was something Kelly said, which, yeah, Kelly, I love you and everything. Like, I'm not, sorry, my heart started beating super fast, so I just felt really convicted to say this. Okay. So something you were saying was like we have to be infatuated with ourselves and like love ourselves first before, but that's a completely unbiblical, like, because we have to deny ourselves, like, because at heart, like, we love ourselves and we're all about ourselves, but we're not going to be complete until we're infatuated with God, Like, he has to be the one that we love so much, and he's the one that has to complete us first, and we're never going to, like, be the right person without him, and we're not going to know the right timing without him, without praying to him and inviting him into it. So let me stand to her defense just real quick, because I know what she meant. Mm-hmm. So believing the best or expecting the worst, what she meant in that, I got you, Kelly, is that when she said being infatuated with yourself, she's talking about being able to find herself and work on herself and caring and loving, learning how to love herself and realizing she can never love anybody until she's able to love herself, to be okay with herself, to be able to heal herself. So that wasn't a message of like self-care and worry about you, do you. That's not what her heart was, and I know her, so I'm saying that. So just so you know, I know that's for her. Amen, Kelly? Okay, yeah, cool. So I cleared the record. And sometimes it get confusing like that, so I had to step in. Yeah, and I'm not attacking her at all, right?
No,
like I know your heart. Like
this is good. It's like a talk show.
I honestly feel like it's really dangerous, even the talk of worrying about loving yourself, like, because it has to be God's love that's enough for us, Like, not work on loving ourselves more, because like it's his love that's enough, not our love for ourselves, Like, I think it's dangerous to say that even. Like, I know, like, it sounds controversial and everything, like, but it's like even what the world says, right? Like, the world says, just love yourself more. Just if you focus on yourself, loving yourself more, then you can finally love others. But it's because of God's love in us that we can love others more, Like, I just feel really convicted about it. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, and I'll agree to agree with you. Because I'll agree to agree with you because I know her heart, I know what she's saying, and I think that so sometimes we can't, like when people speak up and they've never grabbed the mic before, Chris, let me just tell you that. They never grabbed the mic before. She's nervous. The reason why she's nervous, because she's, the reason, no, hear me out, because the reason why she's nervous is because she may not get up and say the right thing. So maybe that's a conversation that you maybe should have had for her off the table, but I know she stood up for the very first time, and she's been here since we started a year ago, and she stood up to say something. And so I think being sensitive to that and trying to understand what she meant by that and give her grace in that, because she may not know how to articulate things. And I get what you're saying, but I see also, I know what she was saying and what her heart and her intention was. So I just can't let it be like, okay, well, yeah, you know, you're wrong. That's like, I have to stand up for that too. Because I know that there is something powerful in me loving myself and me being able to understand what love even is. And for me being able to understand that so many people have a hard time with shame and getting past certain things like that. So I know you felt convicted. We got to keep moving and going. But man, I can't just like, I have to agree to disagree. And I think that's we've never gotten in one of these conversations before, but that's where we're going to keep rolling. So I get both sides to unpack all that in its entirety. Maybe we can have a conversation offline. I just don't want, my thing is I always want to stand up for, if you could have stood up last week and said about Tinder, and we got to be careful with Tinder. But we have to understand that we have to be cautious in letting people speak and say what they say and try to understand what they mean by that. Where did that come from a heart, from a place inside of them? So go ahead, son. Go ahead.
Okay. With the sort of controversy with the questions, I'd say like I think it's a fair statement that we will never figure out if it's the right time or right person or a wrong time, wrong person. But that's why we have wise advisors and wise counsel and community. You know what I mean? Because that community can give us the answers where, if we're willing to actually find the answers, that they'll give us the answers if it's right or wrong. I think that's like, instead of it feeling impossible to figure it out and having to go through everything, going through the hurt and going through, you know, all the mess, instead you could go to, you know, the people around you and the people that are actually trying to hold themselves to higher standards. So, I mean,
Good word.
short and simple.
Good. And I'm going to tell you guys, we're going to switch to the next question. You guys, this understand that just in this, that we're okay with that. We're okay with healthy conversations. I just felt personally, Chris, I love you. You know my heart for you. I just felt personally like I needed to help express what I know with her and where she's been, so that I didn't want her to walk away feeling like I should never speak up again and say what I'm feeling and express things. I just don't think it's like that. That's just me. So we're going to move forward. The next question. We're going to unpack more of this controversy, guys, here in the weeks to come. It's complicated. It's all complicated. 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8 says this: love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with truth. It always protects, always trusts, always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. My question tonight is, how does this verse help you have a better understanding of what true love, God's love, God is love, what does true love look like? What does true love look like? We're heading over here.
Hey guys. So I'm following the camera, hold on. I feel like this verse, I was actually just talking to Tony about it today. what true love looks like to me, there was a sermon once that Marty did, and then I watched another sermon online that kind of touched base on exactly what Pastor Marty said. And it was like replacing love with your own name. So like Rachel is patient, Rachel is kind, Rachel does not envy, Rachel does not boast, and et cetera, et cetera. And so then it gets to the point of like, I start speaking that into myself, that it's like I'm holding true to those values, that when I look to what true love is, Tony is patient, Tony is kind, Tony's and me are talking. We're official. But basically, so once he starts getting to that point of like, Tony is not patient, red flag. Tony is not kind, red flag. Tony does not envy, red flag. And same for me in the sense of accountability, because that's what I feel true love is like, I'm gonna push you to be the best version you can be, and you gotta push me to be the best version I can be. So if you're not able to put your name in any of those parts where love is supposed to be, I don't want it. That's true love, like, I think.
No, well said, well said. And I think time tells, because everybody's gonna show you their best hand up front. But over a period of time, as you start to get on each other's nerves, as you start to irritate one another, you will see how much of that is. We're always so. I think that's where the thing is time added to this, to see something that's consistent over a period of time. I want to see consistency in these things. But well said, Rachel. I get exactly what you're saying. Well said. Well said. But it's time, because you look. He's so patient. He's so kind with me. He's the one. And so we got to be careful, because remember our records. We got to be careful. So somebody else, one more person. How does this verse help you to have a better understanding of what true love looks like?
Basically, I kind of feel like this generation, like we like have too many stereotypes. Like the girls that with the red flags, that's like a stereotype. Like we look at like rappers or whatever. Like for example, like India. I don't know if y'all listen to like King Von, whatever. Yeah, y'all don't listen to that. But anyways, yeah, we have like way too many stereotypes. You need to stop the stereotyping. It's just bad for business. Yeah.
Okay.
Like we have way too many
What
stereotypes
do you mean
in
by
our
red
generation.
flag? What do you mean by, so Ray, when you say red flags, like, you're talking about just the thing of saying that certain things are red flags?
Yeah, because like basically you'd be like, oh, the person's like bad for you. Like you just stop talking to them because that one red flag. Then they did one thing bad to you. It's not like they was like meant to. It was like.
We're gonna unpack that more.
Yeah.
We'll unpack that more. Well, so good though. Good. I mean, we've all sinned and fallen short. So we all fall short. I'm telling you, this is complicated.
Do I have to say?
It's complicated.
Okay. All right. Hi, guys. I love this verse. This is one of my favorite ones because, like you said, like I try my best to pour into other people like this. So if I'm not patient and I'm not kind, then the people around me aren't going to be. And then that makes me reflect on the group around me, not even just in relationships or the person that I'm dating, but also like my friends and my family and like the people that I see on a daily basis, because that influences me to then go off the path of this verse, you know? Because if the people around you aren't patient and the people around you aren't kind, then you're going to be impatient and you're going to be unkind and disrespectful, because that's who you're influenced by, and those are the people that pour into you daily. So this verse, not only is it like just a red flag for the person that you might want to spend the rest of your life with, but it's also for the people that pour into you day in and day out, because they're not going to encourage you to be that way, you know?
Good. And we know no one's gonna be perfect. No one's gonna be. We get that. We're making something. So we're making something here. We'll get one more over here, and then we're gonna switch to the next question, the final question. We're heading your way, Zach.
I personally love this verse too, because when you look at what it says, where it's defining that love is patient, love is kind, it doesn't envy, it shows you what you deserve, but more importantly, it shows the love and respect that you need to deserve to the person that you're dating or pursuing. So that sits very passionately with me, because I do believe in that respect. Guys, when you are pursuing a woman, you are pursuing God's daughter. Treat her that way. And for the record, I did ask Daniel first.
That seems to be the magical. Just ask Daniel. Some of you guys don't even like me right now. That's okay. We're gonna go to the final question. Final question, and then we're gonna break into our groups. We talked about in this session how to date. So how to date, and here it is. So dating for your soulmate requires intentionality, clarity, strategy, and timeliness. Intentionality, clarity, strategy, and timeliness. Which one of these 4 things do you need more of right now? How can you add them into your life? Which of these 4 things do you need more of right now? How can you add them into your life? Intentionality, clarity, strategy, timeliness. These are the things that we enter into ahead of time. If we think that we're just going to enter in and we're just going to kind of just go with the flow, we're just going to it's just going to jump into, I'll see if it works. Let's see if it works. It's risky. Risky. What do you guys think?
All right, what's up, everybody? Real quick, by the way, just to echo what you said, because please stand up and talk, okay? Please, this place is founded in safety and security, and so we want to make sure that anyone with any take can really come on up, and then we could talk about it in the group. So, after I go, if you feel like you want to say something, please say something. We're down to talk about it. Sorry about that. So the one that I wanted to touch on was clarity. For me personally, kind of going back to that scripture prior, the what love is, I feel like I've been on the side of what love isn't, and by the grace of God and hard work, I'm more on the side of what love is nowadays. And when it comes to clarity, when I wasn't on that side, clarity was a really difficult thing, and it just kind of really messed with the rest of them. Intentionality wasn't there, right? I didn't, you don't look at a woman or look at a man and kind of think of all the commitments that you're making to them with that intentionality if you don't really have the clarity. So for me personally, kind of tying in the last one, it wasn't until kind of like Rachel said, like I start with a personal assessment. Jason is kind, Jason is, etc. Completely separate of them, right? They could be a jerk, but am I still kind? They could be mean, but am I still loving? They could be impatient, but am I still patient? I really want to test myself kind of to the limit, right? Push my limits of how solidified am I with really my character matching up with love. And then my clarity got really, really good. After I knew, okay, I can be patient in the face of impatience, I could be kind in the face of, what's the opposite of unkindness? Yeah, sorry. Then I got pretty good at it. Then I got a nice sense of clarity, and then the rest for me personally kind of started to fall in line, right? The intentionality, what am I actually saying when I say I love you? The strategy of how am I gonna go, how I'm gonna go about it. All of it just became a lot more clear. So, yeah, that's me. Thanks.
Thank you, Jay. Well said. We'll take. So let's go to Matt. Matt's got his hand. That's the first time I've seen your hand up all night, Matt. That's rare. You're being patient and kind. All right, here we go, Matt.
So I think for me, the most hardest one is clarity. The reason why is because whenever I get in a relationship, I just don't really think, and I go straight for it and try to be in the relationship without me actually asking God, hey, is this the person I'm supposed to be with? And I just turn my brain off and just focus on the person. And then I realize, man, I didn't ask God for the clarity if that's the right person. And the more if I do find someone and I use those 3, it gives me more clear vision of how to deal with certain situations, like her emotional, her problems, her messiness. It gives more clarity of how to manage those things. And I realized that that's something I need to work on personally for myself, because sometimes I don't realize what I do. And then I'm like, wow, I really should have asked God before I'd done it. And it makes me realize and have more clarity on what I should be doing to someone or any one of my friends. So I think clarity is the one that I want to add more, and I need it the most in my life because it makes everything so much easier. So,
Word.
Yeah.
Good job, Matt. I'm going to take one more. And then we're going to jump into our group. Hold on. What's your name, brother? What is it? Tristan. I don't think we've ever heard Tristan before. And Tristan went like this. Tristan went. So Let's hear what Tristan has to say. It better be good, Tristan. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding.
If you don't know me, my name's Tristan. This is only my second time at church. The last time I was here was the New Year's party. So.
Oh, Tristan, welcome back, bro.
So, thank you. So, off of what you said earlier, like taking risks and stuff, I'm one to take risks. It's more of like it's not bad to take risks. It's good to have common sense about risks, but like.
Right. Which is wisdom.
It's more about like asking yourself questions and seeing whether or not it's worth taking the risk. I took the risk being with my girlfriend. I took the risk of like doing certain things in my life. Sometimes I shouldn't have, sometimes I should have, and it worked out. But yeah, I'm just one to take risks, ask questions, be smart. Yeah.
Well said. Well said. Risk. And I think it comes back down to risk assessment. There's always going to be a certain amount of risk. And Patrick, like you said earlier, if there was a magical equation that we knew of how to get every relationship right, yeah, we wouldn't be here right now. And so many of you wouldn't have to have went through, your parents wouldn't have went through the things that they went through. But I think risk assessment and knowing how to assess the risk to where we use wisdom, which is common sense, it's sense that's common. And I think we just have to be honest with ourselves a lot of time and say, listen, I know that sometimes when we see somebody that's doing it for us and we're like, we get focused and we see it, we need to say, listen, I know I can be a little blind to things, so we all have blind spots. Tell me what you see. And having people we trust. Not just those people that are going to tell us, oh, he's so cute. Yeah, I think you should go for it. Yeah, just try. Yeah, listen, don't let your friends use your life to wager their bets. So I want to say goodbye to our online audience. We are going to head into, you guys, be back next week. We are going to, I'm going to tell you guys right now, there is no homework next week. So we are going to stay here in this to continue to unpack it even further, because one night with what we've talked about, and you see that there's a lot in this. It's very complex. Not to say that we'll figure it out by having one more week, but I did feel led for us to take an additional week to dive into this even more and bring some more clarity to these equations that I knew would be controversial. I knew we would have controversy. I knew we would have some butting of some heads in this as well. So, online audience, we will see you next week.
Can we have one of the ladies go? Because we didn't have any ladies go for that question.
Okay, well, online audience, we're not going anywhere. I don't run this, I guess. So yes, Unique is, she's back and she's...
Sassier than ever.
Yes. Thanks, Unique.
Okay, so touching on this one, I actually was listening to the video the other day, and I really felt like intentionality was the most important one, along with clarity, because she basically said that clarity is love in itself, because you will be up and forward about what your intentions are generally. They kind of go hand in hand, because if you don't love somebody or respect somebody enough, that's when you get mixed signals. And I feel like society nowadays, we do that often. Whether it be like girls to guys to girls, that's a reality. And it's good to just be clear. Tell people what you are feeling, because that is the only way you will show love. Even if it's a no, even if it's a yes, be clear, because these are people's hearts on the line.
And that is all we have for you. You guys, we will see you next week. Love you guys. Same bat channel next week. All right, so we're going to jump into our group, Scott.